We had a healthy baby girl, everything seemed right, she was beautiful, about, 3.6 kilos, and we were absolutely delighted, over the moon.
When Marlee Watson was born, she seemed perfectly healthy, just like any other baby. And just like all proud parents, Rebecca and John began celebrating every milestone.
Hey, clever girl.
She progressed as she should till she was about 7 months old.
She rolled over at 6 months, and she was babbling and smiling. She smiled really early, and she was a perfect little baby.
But then things began to change. Marlee started losing the ability to do things she'd once been able to do.
I noticed myself, was worried about a deterioration in her hand skills for eating.
Rebecca and John took Marlee to countless specialists over a 2-year period. All the while, those milestones they'd previously celebrated disappeared one by one.
Stroke to Zach. Stroke to Zach.
Finally, Marlee was diagnosed with Rett syndrome, an incredibly rare genetic condition caused by a gene mutation that mainly affects girls.
This is a very traumatic event for families. Their little baby girl is developing very nicely, but then suddenly things change. She is losing skills, and that is an extremely difficult period.
There's no cure for Rett syndrome. Most girls will lose the ability to talk or play with toys. Some will find walking difficult or impossible, and many will develop other conditions associated with the disorder.
So when we got the diagnosis, it was an instant panic of what was her life going to look like? Were we going to be able to support her?
I think that was the toughest week. That week following was the toughest week I've been through emotionally.
The worst thing was not having her, in my mind at the time, was not having her live at home with us if things got too hard, or what if we weren't here and who was going to look after her? And then, of course, what if she's not around for a long time? How do I deal with that? And obviously that's very heartbreaking to put yourself through.
After Marlee was diagnosed, Rebecca and John went searching for ways they could help their daughter live her life to the fullest despite the condition. That's when they found the Rett Syndrome Research Team at Perth's Telethon Kids Institute.
The Telethon Kids Institute has been our lifeline since we met with them that 2 months after our diagnosis. Dr. Leonard and Jenny are always available. They're only a phone call away, so if you do have a query.
The Rett Syndrome Research Team manages the only national and international database on Rett syndrome in the world. By collecting data on all children born with Rett syndrome, they're learning more about the course of the disease and the best ways to treat it.
We want the girls to be as healthy as possible and to have a really good quality of life. I think that's our primary aim. Secondly, if we can contribute information which will actually help a genetic cure, we certainly will, and I think we can.
They've just been so helpful. We were stumbling in the wilderness for those first 2 months, and I just never felt such relief after just chatting to them for a couple of hours. It was like, okay, we can do this.
Marlee is now 4 years old, and while her condition continues to deteriorate, she does her best to keep up with little sister Maddie.
I used to read posts on Facebook and in forums of people saying that it's a hideous disease, and I'd think, oh, well, we must be lucky because, you know, she's still progressing and everything. And today I tell you, I think it's a hideous disease because watching her become more and more trapped in her body, it's horrible.
But Marlee's parents won't give up. They're fighting right alongside Telethon Kids Institute researchers to do all they can for Marlee and other kids born with this condition.
Just a 50% improvement in what they go through would be amazing, and ultimately a cure. But in between, we're just focusing on therapy and providing Marlee with the best outcome possible.
She keeps trying. I don't know where she finds her resilience, but she's got amazing resilience, and I think that's one thing she's taught us, is to never give up. If you're motivated, you'll find the way. And so it's up to us to find those ways.